Hello, dear friends. In this lecture, we will study about effect of back pressure on the performance of nozzle flow. So, as we know that nozzle is a device which is used to convert pressure energy into kinetic or velocity energy. So, mainly there are two types of nozzles which are used to convert the pressure energy into kinetic energy, and these nozzles are called as first one is the convergent nozzle and second one is the divergent nozzle. So here we will study the effect of back pressure on the performance of nozzle flow. So the back pressure is the pressure in the exhaust region outside the nozzle. So first case we are taking that is of the convergent nozzle. So you can see here, this is the convergent nozzle where initially we are taking that the some fluid is having zero velocity at the inlet, and P naught as well as T naught are the stagnation pressure and temperature of the fluid at the inlet condition. Then here you can see this is the portion of the convergent nozzle, and at the exit side we are showing here PE, which is called as the exhaust exhaust region. So the pressure is the exit pressure, and here at this side we are using a valve to adjust back pressure. Here adjust means we are decreasing the back pressure so that it will also decrease the exit pressure at the nozzle. So our purpose is to check the performance of the nozzle flow when we are varying the back pressure and what are the effects of the back pressure. So initially, you can see this diagram where we are showing the pressure P on the vertical axis, and on the horizontal axis we are showing the flow along the nozzle. So first refer this line A, or we can say curve A. So you can see here when we are referring this curve A, it means you can see this is a straight line. It means across the nozzle there is same pressure or the constant pressure, or we can say at the inlet as well as at the exit of the nozzle the pressure is same. So because there is no pressure difference, then definitely the fluid will not flow. So inlet means here we are here, outlet means we are here at this exit side. So when the pressure is same at the inlet as well as at the exit side, when the pressure will be same, fluid will not flow. Now consider we are decreasing the back pressure by using this valve. When the pressure at the back side will be decreased, definitely it will decrease the exit pressure PE also. So here the curve B indicates that the flow will be following this pattern. Here at the exit side, we are seeing that pressure is going to be decreased. And when the fluid will flow from the inlet towards the exit side, definitely pressure will decrease. And when the pressure will decrease, the pressure energy will be converted to the kinetic or the velocity energy. If we are further decreasing the back pressure, then it will also decrease the exit pressure, and then we are getting this curve C. So this curve C indicates the flow of the fluid in the convergent nozzle from inlet to the exit side or the outlet side. Then on further decreasing the back pressure, it means the exit pressure, then we are getting the another curve which is called like the curve D, and the pressure will vary. So this is the curve, and we are seeing further the pressure is going to be decreased. Now, this flow variation across the convergent nozzle is also shown here. These two curves in the diagram B as well in the curve C. So, suppose this diagram B showing the ratio PB upon PO, and on the vertical axis side it is showing m dot, which is called as the mass flow rate. Suppose here at this point which is showing the value 1.0, it means PB by PO, this ratio is 1.0. It indicates that the value of back pressure as well as the value of stagnation pressure both are same. This pressure P naught and back pressure PB both are same, then definitely there is no flow of the fluid. So this value of the mass flow rate will be zero here at this point. At this point A, the value of the mass flow rate will be zero. Now on further decreasing the back pressure, suppose we are here at the point B, we are seeing that slightly the value of mass flow rate is increasing. Some fluid flow will start. On further reduction of the back pressure, the axial pressure will decrease and we will get the point C. So point C indicates that when we are further decreasing the back pressure or the exit pressure, the mass flow rate is increasing. So if we are further decreasing the back pressure, we will get the point D. And here at point D, we are seeing that approximately the mass flow rate is the maximum. What we are seeing here, if we are decreasing the back pressure, then the mass flow rate is increasing across the convergent nozzle. But when we are at point D and also we are at point E, at these 2 points, the mass flow rate is approximately same. If we can write if m dot at point E as well as m dot at point D, so these two values are approximately same. It means after a certain limit, if we are further decreasing the back pressure, there will be no effect on the mass flow rate. Now, it will be more clear from the third curve C. The third curve C, you can see here, here we have taken on the vertical axis the pressure ratio P by P naught, means ratio of the exit pressure to the stagnation pressure. And on the horizontal axis, we have taken the pressure ratio PV by P naught. It means the ratio of the back pressure to the stagnation pressure. Now again, see this point A. We are here at this point A. And at this point A, we are correspond to the condition when there is not and when there is no flow at all. The fluid is not flowing, the pressure ratio is same. So at this point A, the value of the pressure ratio is 1. When the PB by PO is equal to 1, it means PB and PO both are same, so the fluid will not flow at all. Now, when we decrease the back pressure, then definitely the axial pressure will decrease. So come to this point B. We are here at this point B. And at this point B, slightly the value of the back pressure has been decreased as well as value of this back pressure B also has been decreased. So when we are decreasing the back pressure PB, definitely the value of axial pressure will also decrease. So here we are at the point B. On further decreasing the back pressure, we are seeing that we will reach to the point C. So at point C, the further the value of the axial pressure will decrease. So when we are decreasing the value of the back pressure, the value of axial pressure is also decreasing accordingly. Now suppose we are reaching at this point D. At this point D, there will be some value of the back pressure here. And correspond with this, we are getting some value of the this pressure to the station pressure. So at point D and also at point E, we are getting a critical value of pressure. It means if we are decreasing the value of back pressure continuously, but after a certain point, on further decreasing the value of the back pressure, there will be no decrease in the axial pressure. There will be no decrease in the axial pressure. And that value of the pressure is denoted here by P star. And here this P star is called as the critical pressure. P star is called as here the critical pressure. Critical pressure here indicates the means it is the minimum pressure. Beyond this, if we will further decrease the pressure, there will be no change in this pressure because that point will exist outside the nozzle, not at the axis of the nozzle. So, in this way, what we are seeing is that on decreasing the back pressure, there is the decrease in the exit pressure. And we have seen here the mass flow rate will continuously increase when we are decreasing the back pressure or the exit pressure. And at a certain value of the pressure, that is called as the critical pressure, denoted here by P star. At this value, we are getting the maximum mass flow rate m dot. Beyond which, if we further decrease the back pressure, there will be no increase in mass flow rate. That is the critical condition. So this we have seen in case of the convergent nozzle. Now we will see here what is the effect of back pressure for the convergent and divergent nozzle. Okay. So see here, this is the another diagram. In here we are having a nozzle which is of the shape convergent, divergent nozzle. So this portion, you can see this portion is the convergent portion where the cross-sectional area will decrease. This is the throat portion. Here, this is the throat portion where the area remains constant. And this is the divergent portion of the nozzle. This is the divergent portion where the cross-sectional area of the nozzle will increase. So convergent divergent nozzle having three portions: convergent portion, throat, as well as divergent portion. Now in the convergent portion, when the flow will occur, here the Mach number will be less than 1. At the throat, the value of Mach number will be 1. And beyond the throat portion, the Mach number will be greater than 1. So Mach number is the ratio of the flow velocity to the sound velocity. Now see here. So there are three portions: convergent portion, throat portion, as well as the divergent portion. See in this curve, the vertical axis we are showing the pressure P, and in the horizontal axis it is along the length of the nozzle, along the length of the nozzle, along length of nozzle. Now we will see what is the effect of back pressure. So first we are seeing here the line A. So this line A is the horizontal line, and this horizontal line indicates that here pressure P remains constant. P is constant. P is constant. It means from inlet to exit side across the nozzle, there is no change in the pressure. So when there is no change in the pressure, definitely there will be no flow occurs. Initially, at the inlet side, we have considered the C equal to 0 or the velocity is 0. So the fluid is having the 0 velocity, and correspond to this condition, the pressure is P naught, which is called as the stagnation pressure, and temperature is T naught, which is called as the stagnation temperature. Okay, now see this curve B. So when we are further reducing the pressure, when we are reducing the pressure or the we can say back pressure, definitely it will follow this curve. It will follow this curve B. So in the convergent portion, we are seeing pressure is decreasing. This part, pressure decreasing. At this throat portion, it is constant, and then the pressure is increasing. So this is the pattern of the fluid flow. On further decreasing the pressure, it is following this curve, the curve C. The pattern is approximately similar. If we further decrease the back pressure, axial pressure will decrease, and it is following this curve D. So in the convergent portion, the pressure is decreasing, means velocity is decreasing, and then beyond this throat portion, the pressure is further increasing. But at this point D, when the pressure is decreasing continuously, definitely the velocity of the flow will definitely increase. So one condition will reach when m is equal to 1. M is equal to 1 means Mach number will be equal to 1. It means flow velocity will be equal to sound velocity. Correspond to this condition, the pressure is called as the critical pressure. The pressure is called as the here critical pressure. Now you will see here, if we are further decreasing the pressure, because here we have reached the condition m equal to 1, the pressure is the critical pressure, and the Mach number is equal to 1. And if we are further decreasing the back pressure by adjusting the valve, then we are following this curve. From starting this point to this point, we are seeing this curve. It means the pressure will be decreased further beyond the throat. It means the velocity increasing. So if the velocity increasing more than the sound velocity, then Mach number will be greater than 1 here in this portion. Mach number will be greater than 1. So what we are seeing is that if the pressure or the back pressure is continuously decreased, after the sonic flow, we have the Mach number is 1 at the throat. In the divergent portion, the flow will be supersonic flow. But in the divergent portion itself, if the flow conditions change from subsonic to the supersonic, because in the convergent portion here we are seeing the Mach number is less than 1, and Mach number is less than 1, it is called as the subsonic flow. If the Mach number is equal to 1, it is called as the sonic flow, and if the Mach number is greater than 1, it is called as the supersonic flow. So if the flow changes from subsonic to supersonic, there is formation of a shock wave, either because of the change of the flow from subsonic to supersonic, or there may be any physical change within the duct. And because of this, there is the formation of a shock wave. So you can see here, this is called a normal shock or a shock wave. This is a shock wave. Shock wave will be generated, and this shock wave is perpendicular to the flow of the fluid. So this is called as the normal shock wave. You can further see this is also a normal shock wave. This is also a normal shock wave. In some portion, you will also see there are the some oblique shock waves also formed across the flow of the fluid. But what is the effect of the formation of this normal shock wave? So you can see beyond this normal shock wave, you can see this curve, and this curve is showing that here the pressure is increasing in the divergent portion. So because of the formation of the shock wave, the supersonic flow will be converted to the subsonic flow. Because of this normal shock wave, supersonic flow will be converted to the subsonic flow, and this portion will act as the subsonic diffuser. So we can say the normal shock wave formation occurs only in case of the convergent divergent nozzle in only the divergent portion. So here we have seen that what is the effect of on performance because of the back pressure in case of the convergent nozzle as well as in case of the divergent nozzle. Thank you.